Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
What's going on, everybody? For those of counting, which is just us, if this is episode 601.
We hope you've all recovered from episode 600. It was a marathon.
It was a marathon.
But it was worth it.
As our pal Titus said, it's the length of both Kill Bill movies.
Yes.
I don't think it is, but...
No, we're probably short by about an hour, but it's still probably the longest show we've ever done, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Still a good time.
But again, can't thank him enough for being on twice in like 5 months. We're super grateful, and he's so interesting because he's just like one of us. So he's interesting to us. But
Yep.
And I did, because I had a long drive the other day, I actually listened back to it, because just for the audience's sake, we recorded that like 3 weeks ago. So I do have a show note that I wanted to make a correction to something I said, because it was recorded before this was announced, and we were speculating. We are not getting Star Wars in the theaters this coming year in 2026. It is 2027. I was insisting on that episode that it was in 2026.
and who was saying it was 27? It doesn't matter.
I think you were saying 27. I was saying, no, we're getting it next year. And then, like, the day after we recorded, they officially announced it's coming in February of 2027. So I just wanted to make a quick correction on that.
But anyway, if you have not, unfortunately, due to logistics, that was an audio podcast. But we are getting a lot of views of that on Instagram. But there's not much there. But listen to it, watch it, whatever. It's a lot of fun. It was a good time.
I mean, if you watch it, you can see the 600th episode logo for 2.5 hours. It's
2.5 hours. I don't have one here. But yeah, it was great. He was awesome, and we'll have him on again on video at some point, because we'd love to
We've got
see some of his stuff. He's got a ton of stuff, just like us. All right, let's do some random. Barry, what do you got?
Well, I will follow up on what I was just saying with Star Wars. 2027 is going to be a big year for Star Wars. So as we were just saying, we got February 19th. We have the newly restored original version, theatrical version from 1977 of Star Wars. In April, we've got Star Wars Celebration in LA. May is the 25th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. It's also the 50th anniversary of the original Star Wars. And then on May 28th, we get Star Wars Starfighter. So the first half of 2027 is going to be jam-packed full of Star Wars fun.
You really needed to add Attack of the Clones anniversary in there?
I'm sure they're going to do something around that. They always
The second worst movie of the bunch?
Whatever. I like it. You're not going to drag me there tonight.
Well, do you admit it's the second worst?
Well, in every series of movies, there has to be something that's hits the bottom of the list. It doesn't mean I don't like it.
Okay, fair enough. Just
look at me being positive, man.
What are we saying is the worst?
That which shall not be named.
The Voldemort of Star Wars movies.
The Last Jedi, of course.
They've been playing it on cable lately, and
not in my house. It's not allowed
not
in my house
either. But every time I see it in the grid, I'm like, oh god.
Not allowed on in this house. Amongst several other things.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's a list.
It comes as no shock to the two of you. I have some rules about what's allowed to be shown in this house. They don't always get followed.
I just can't believe that the rest of your family has not mutinied it at this point.
If you're going to mutiny over The Last Jedi, we got to be proud.
No, I said over something. That might not be the sword to fall on, but...
Todd, what do you got?
So, yesterday, a teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday was leaked online for a very short time, few hours. I've talked to people that saw it. A number of people report online. They've talked about what they've seen. The big news is Cap is back. So we see Steve Rogers in this. And apparently there are 4 teaser trailers that are going to come out with Avatar. And
do we have to see it to watch?
Focusing on one different, a bunch of different
each one's
characters.
a different character, right?
Yeah, but I mean, to me, that is at this point that is a big surprise. I guess a spoiler too, but it's a surprise. I'm extremely heartened by this. I really did not know how they were going to kind of tie this all together. I'm not sure how they're bringing him back. Apparently, in the scene that people saw, he's holding a baby. So that's
odd.
interesting.
Should we be saying spoilers? I don't know.
Well, again, it was online.
If that's
So-
not something I would have wanted to know, but I feel like there is no shortage of Doomsday stuff constantly.
Yeah.
I don't look at any of it. It's like I feel like that movie is got more being given out, whether legally or illegally, than any other movie we've ever seen.
Well, and we're still a year out, and things
we are a
could
day
get
away from
edited
being
out.
a year out. Yeah, and it's
Wouldn't be the first time we saw a trailer that with footage that didn't make it into the final
yeah.
movie.
I don't think though you do a character reveal and not follow through with it.
No, not a character
Like, all
reveal,
the chairs they had, the 700 chairs they had, his name wasn't on any of them. And
You think it's Cap? It's just gonna be some multi-universe
it
bullshit.
said Steve Rogers. So
It's going to be a multi-universe bullshit for sure, Dave.
well, it's going to be a
100%.
multi-universe thing because they said that apparently Doctor Doom is like ending the multiverse, but
Oh, Jesus.
so
I mean, we already know you've got the Fantastic Four in it. You've got the X-Men in it. So it's got to be a multiverse. I mean,
Yeah.
in order
Yeah.
to have all those pieces
Yeah.
on the playing board, it's got to be a multiverse.
honestly, at this point, I feel like if you're going to do a multiverse thing, ending it is not a bad thing.
Please
know,
end it.
But you've got two movies. They got two movies to do it in. So we'll see. We'll see. But again, I'm encouraged by that. I felt, taking Iron Man and Cap off the board really didn't leave him a lot of runway to build a team. And I think, a Cap, even if it's Otherworld Cap is a gives him a chance. So
You don't think it's a
for all we
cheat?
know, it could also be a alternate Johnny Storm. So we've seen that.
You don't think it's a cheat that they bring him back in this? I mean, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: we're gonna see a trailer for Doomsday before we see a trailer for Brand New Day, and Brand New Day comes out in May, and Doomsday comes out in December. Like,
Yeah, these are teasers though. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a full trailer. But yeah, who knows? Who knows?
I just wonder if they're trying to get ahead of something because they knew it was going to leak and they want to be the ones.
Oh, I'm
that
sure of
comes out.
that. I'm sure of that, and I also think that there's a lot of negative buzz about this too, and a lot of people are saying Marvel's kind of done. I don't think anyone anticipated Superman to be as successful as it was, and for there to be as much enthusiasm for that as there has been, and for some of the other characters that are emerging as there has been. It seems like every actor in Hollywood apparently is going to be in the next Batman movie, including Scarlett Johansson, Brad Pitt, and who knows who else, according to reports. So we'll see. I mean, maybe they're just trying to build buzz.
I don't know.
I also don't believe in this day and age anything gets leaked accidentally for 2 hours. I think this
Yeah,
is
no, I agree with that. I
But
love
they're
Cap.
also
He's
saying
my
that
favorite
they're gonna
character.
Put
But
Endgame back in theaters next September with a new post-credit scene that ties directly into the movie.
I feel like they're
make me miss
backtracking.
it. Make me sit through a 3-hour movie that I've seen 20 times already just to see a new post-credit scene.
if that post-credit scene has Steve Rogers go over and grab onto Thor's hammer again and then become young again, or whatever way this happens, I'm okay with that.
He's
There's
probably
gotta be
still in
some-
his universe or his time period with Peggy, and that's where the kid came from. And somehow
It could be. It could be. But I also think in the comics they had the super soldier serum taken out of him at one point, and he grew to what his normal age would have been, and then he went back. So that's also possible.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not. I think they're pulling a lot of tricks with the Robert Downey Jr. and bringing Cap and they're grasping at stuff. I don't know.
We will see.
But all right, so you guys, this may be news to you. We unfortunately are not in the running for a Golden Globe for Best Podcast. I guess that's a
we were
new
robbed.
category this year. There's only 5 can be in the running. We're probably 600,000 or 700,000, but it's fine. I know Smartless is in there, and Mel Robbins, who I know Pam listens to constantly. She's got a lot of good advice. But anyway, the other thing is funny. I keep on getting stuff in my feed for Webbies. Webbies are like the original thing. And I'm like, you want to know something? I am going to submit us for a Webbie. I didn't tell you guys that. So,
totally do that.
Especially our Titus show, which I think is great. Either one of them, really the first one, it costs $585 for every category you want to be put in. So we're not up for a Webbie either. I'm not throwing away that money. I thought it was free. I'm like,
it should be free.
Because I go through and I pick up, it's like, best hosts, best celebrity interview. I picked like 5 topics, like, our genre. And then I'm like, $2,750. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, we're okay. We'll just take a pat on the back.
I think back in the day, those things were free, but now that the majority of podcasts are hosted by celebrities and run by these big media companies, I guess they have the pockets to do it.
Yeah, well, we're not getting either of those, but what are you gonna? We're gonna win the Regular Joe's Podcast Award for the best Regular Joe's podcast. We'll start our own.
We better win that one.
Yeah. Well, we're actually in 3rd place right now, so we'll see. Any other random quickly?
I'm just going to touch on one. I know there were a bunch of auctions, and we covered all that. I did want to just mention in the Heritage auction that ended last week, the Tom Young painting of the Star Wars, the original poster art that they ended up not using for their first poster, but they used it on the program and in a bunch of other posters later, is now officially the most expensive piece of Star Wars memorabilia ever sold at auction. Went for $3.875 million. And it's also the most expensive piece of movie poster art that's ever sold.
Wait, so it's the most expensive poster art, or I thought there were posters that went for more. What?
Not movie poster art. No, they're saying. I mean, what I read from Heritage was that not only is it the most expensive piece of Star Wars memorabilia, but it's also the most expensive movie poster painting ever sold at auction.
Wow. Well, it was a ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Almost $4 million.
Fascinating. If you think about the more than actual props. That's wild. So.
Well, you think? I guess art. I mean, art's a whole different animal. I guess.
I mean, the lightsaber went for 3.6, so it's only a couple 100,000 more than that.
Yeah, more than that. But still, that's amazing.
Yeah. But ironically, we won't dig into a ton of this. That the Witch's Hat went for like 575,000, and the last one went for what, like $3 million.
Yeah.
And I didn't do a deep dive into how they're similar or different. But if I'm that guy who bought the $3 million one, I'm not happy at all.
No.
Because they were saying
that's the chance you take with some of these things. I mean,
yeah.
You never really know. But
you know what you'd never take a chance with? Fanboy Collectibles. Everything you need. Now, when this comes out, it'll be what, December 19th or something like that. So I don't know if you can still get stuff for Christmas or Hanukkah's going on until at least the 22nd. But check them out. There's plenty. The thing is, you can buy yourself stuff anyway. So you might as well just forget buying gifts for people and buy it for yourself.
Well, let's face it.
They've got some money for Christmas,
Well, they've got great stuff in stock, but they've also got great stuff on pre-order. So you can pre-order now and your gift comes sometime next year, and it's like a second Christmas.
Exactly. You can take a picture. Say you're buying somebody the Hot Toys Star Wars, the Magna Guard.
Magna Guard.
You just take a picture off the website, you put it in an envelope, and say, here you go. It'll be here in 6 months. But so they got that. There's a Predator, Hot Toys Predator from Prey that looks awesome.
I gotta say, my favorite thing they have up for pre-order right now is the Steven Spielberg and Mechanical Jaws statue.
That is cool.
Isn't that cool?
It is
very cool. I saw that.
Amazing. I love that thing. And their Anakin and Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith statue is pretty epic too.
There's
cool.
a Batgirl. There's a Poison Ivy CoverGirls statues. There's a bunch of Iron Studios, Batman, Wolverine. I'm telling you, people, statues are cool. You don't have to have a ton, but if you collect action figures, you should have a few statues
and on the lower price point side, you've got the Tom Petty Funko Pop. I mean,
which is really
in stock.
Cool. I gotta say, that is awesome.
So check all that stuff out. They got Hot Toys and Pops, as we said, and Hasbro, and Kotobuki, and Sideshow, and Iron Studios, and McFarlane, and all kinds of stuff. Check those guys out at fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them Mariga Joe sent you. So the Supergirl, we're talking about superhero movies and how Superman is so popular and all that stuff. But Supergirl teaser, I guess, is it a teaser? It's a teaser. I mean, these teasers used to be 30 seconds.
I mean, there's enough meat in there that I think we can call it a trailer.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know that they really showed us too much other than she's a drunken mess, but you know, I watch it.
I mean,
watch
it gives us the backstory that Kal-El got to leave Krypton and not see its destruction, but she had to live through it. So we get that.
So we're
right?
going to get some Krypton backstory. Yeah.
So So hopefully we're going to get more on that, all of that, and you get the sense that she's sort of out there. I mean, it has a very Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to me.
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
Everybody's been saying
very
that.
much.
And I will say, I've said this before, if you read Supergirl of Tomorrow, Supergirl
Woman of Tomorrow.
It's a very Guardians of the Galaxy kind of story, but in the way that the Guardians of the Galaxy comics were, not so much the movies even. So, we know James Gunn loves this stuff. He works really well with it. I think it's a perfect way to tell one of those kind of stories.
I mean, he didn't direct this one. We should make sure that's clear,
right. But I'm sure he picked
his hands are all over it. Yeah,
he picked the source material, and I think it's I've read it. I really like it. Watching this, tonally, they caught it really, really well. It feels like, it feels like the book. I mean, it's she's basically binging on on planets with red suns because she can get drunk there. She can't.
Does she still have her powers then? Because she was beating people up.
She can't get drunk on Earth, okay? Because of she's super powered. So she's going to places where she's not super powered, and getting drunk, partying, getting in bar fights, and she gets caught up in this girl's quest, and that's the story, and it's excellent. It's really, really good. She's basically the spare. She's the redundant Kryptonian, and it's like I said, I'm really looking forward to this. I think they capture the spirit of it really well. They capture the tone well. There's scenes in here that look like they're cut off the page, and it was a very well received story. So and it's going to look like Guardians. It's just, and people are going to Guardians wasn't the first space story, and it's not going to be the last one either. They just did a really good job with it, and I suspect we're going to see much of the same here. I know a lot of people are really excited to see Lobo for the first time on screen.
Was he in the book?
No, he's not. And
that's what's his face? That's Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
He's kind of a blink and you miss it in the trailer. You got to really be looking for him.
He was basically born to play Lobo. I mean, he was when they cast him to play Aquaman. He said, "But I really want to be Lobo." Okay, and if you're not familiar with Lobo, he's a alien bounty hunter, kind of outlaw biker-ish guy who's super powered, and is this
Jason Momoa looks like Lobo without makeup.
He kind of does, yes. And he kind of
naturally looks like him.
I will say this: he's the closest thing the DCU has to a Deadpool. Okay.
Oh.
And so, if they had made and they've talked a couple times about making a Lobo movie, if they'd done that before Deadpool, it would have been very, very good for them. I think now bringing him in as a supporting character is a really good idea, and I think he'll do great with it. I'm super optimistic about this. I wasn't sure about her casting at first, but I think she's going to be great. They made her a little older. In the book, it was her 21st birthday, and here they said it was her 24th or 23rd, something.
23rd, I think. Yeah.
And but it's like I said, it's just a great story that's worth telling. And we haven't had a good Supergirl story ever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I just loved Superman so much, so I know more of this universe, whether it's not in this, doesn't take place on Earth apparently, or maybe it does a little, but
Nope. Nope.
I just like to see this universe be expanded. So I'm excited about it.
And there's, there's, well, I'm not going to spoil. There's things that if they do them in the movie the way they did them in the book, she's got other motivations too, which are very, very good, and it works for the story. And yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm really jazzed for this.
And crypto.
Well, there's more crypto.
Crypto peeing on a picture of Superman in the newspaper.
And we also now know, because I thought based on her showing up wearing the coat that she wears in this, that she could have been coming back from this story at the end of Superman, but she's not, because he's peeing on a newspaper that says Superman beats Lex Luthor. So this is
it's after this, yeah.
This is afterwards. So
I love the way they
She's
do.
probably been on the binge, but now this movie picks up after.
Oh yeah.
Well, and she has to take crypto.
Yeah.
She has to take crypto with her. And they give you that little like, oh, crypto's not doing well. Like, don't do that. We don't need that. He's laying there and she's crying. We don't want to see any of that. Kill Lobo if you need to, but leave crypto alone. I'm fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be exciting. I mean, it's soon. It's 6 months, right? I mean, even freaking... God, I'm not getting into the whole who owns what, but the Warner Brothers owned channels have like a teaser. I'm watching Big Bang Theory on TBS, and it's like Supergirl in theaters June 30th. Like, seriously? You need to put what do they call those? A stinger on the bottom of the screen for a movie that comes out in more than 6 months.
I'll be honest, that is getting more and more annoying and frustrating to me, that they're taking up so much of the screen now, promoting things that are on streaming networks and that are coming in other places. And it's bad enough that we used to get that occasionally, but it feels like it's there like all the time now on so many channels.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mess, and I'm glad I'm not involved in that at all anymore. It's just a mess. Ugh. We won't even get into the whole saga of Paramount Netflix. Ugh, it's all disgusting. So anyway, everyone looking forward to Supergirl. All right, we have to shift gears a little bit, because it's been a crazy week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of tragedy in the news the last couple of days, and maybe we just start with Providence. We collectively spend a lot of time in Providence. As you guys know, we talk a lot about Rhode Island Comic-Con.
We've been to that city more than any other city I've been to, I think.
Probably the city I've been to the most, and with you guys
Yeah.
on almost every trip there. And it's just so sad what happened there. I mean, obviously, I know we can't really get into a lot of it, and there really isn't even a lot to say other than that it's awful. But just our thoughts and prayers go out to the families that have been impacted.
Yeah, I had a niece who went to Brown. I was on that campus several times, and it's just terrible that is how these students' lives are changed now.
Yeah,
they're
it's
never going to
happening way too much.
They're never going to feel safe in that place, and that is wrong in every imaginable way. It's an incredible institution, and it just like I said, it's just to be violated in this way is just and the tragedy is just unimaginable.
It's a great city, and the people there that we've met have always been awesome.
Yeah, we've had such good times, and everyone's been really warm and nice, and it's unfortunate. It's a small town. It's obviously it's a college town with Brown and other schools there, and it's just there's been so much of this that you're a little numb to it, and then there's a little recognition because you've been there. But shootings like this should not happen at all. Period.
Never.
And it can be. I think some of it can be controlled.
And as commented, it's these things don't just happen. There's people being very callous about it because of the frequency of it, and we can't accept that. It's not acceptable, and it just I work at a school. I'm in a school every single day. It's never far from our minds, and this is not a normal part of life.
No,
This is
it certainly shouldn't be.
abnormal aberration, and one way or another, it's got to be addressed. So.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the unfortunate stuff that's going on in Sydney. I mean, we don't see it in other countries as much, and that really stands out. Unfortunately, it's a U.S. thing more than anywhere else, but a horrible tragedy in Sydney as well. It's just it's been terrible.
And the footage of that, the man sort of taking the one gunman, taking the rifle away from the guy, was some powerful footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
It's unbelievable.
yeah, it's supposed to be a time of year when everyone's sort of maybe getting a little closer to each other and not this kind of stuff. So it's horrible. But the other thing in the news is just happened the other day as we were recording this. That's sort of in entertainment, which we cover, I guess, Rob Reiner and his wife being murdered, which is just unfathomable. That someone you sort of know because of his work, and then actually it's one thing when people die, which is horrible, but to literally be murdered in his home is
and
just
allegedly
awful.
by a family member.
Yeah, I can't even conceive
also
of.
a very, very troubled person, and again, it's like these, it's yeah.
But in somebody like Rob Reiner, I mean, I know you guys are a couple years older than me, but like he's been in my life since I've been watching TV. Like
Oh yeah, and that's the same thing. It's like I grew up watching All in the Family, and and then his transition to being a director, and I cannot think of another director who's had as broad a range of films and as many different types of films. And I mean, I love several of his films, and it's you can't really pin him down other than
and it's just the quality across genres of his films, like you're saying. Not only that, I mean, he's a writer, he's a director, an activist. I mean, for all kinds of causes.
And when I think of his movies and the whole body of work, it reminds me a lot of like Ron Howard too. Like he touches so many different genres.
It was a very simple, but also, was an actor. Learned the craft from in front of the camera, and I guess in his case, he was he's a second generation is Rob Reiner, obviously his father, but Carl Reiner is Rob Reiner's father. Thank you. And but still, it's like, you look at the body of his work and the stuff that he's produced, and you think about it, some of the film, I mean, how do you look at The Princess Bride and Stand By Me and say this, the same guy did this, and it's like, or Misery
and Spinal Tap.
And Misery and Spinal Tap. Okay, how do you get from A to C? And it's like, and it's just because he's a craftsman and he was brilliant, and and he put his all in everything he did, and and that's how you get these films. But also the thing that's been amazing to see in the last few days is everyone who has worked with this person comes out and says what an extraordinary human being he was. I watched.
Did you see the Kevin Bacon
today?
Yeah,
with James Wood talking on who's a very conservative person on a very conservative show, talking about how much he loved this man and how he saved his career, and how the fact that they were politically diametrically opposite each other, but he could never see Rob Reiner as anything other than the great human being that he was. And I think that's that's what we lost here.
I hate to think like, losing someone like this is more important than someone else.
Right.
And that's not the way to think, but just his contribution to movies in at least my age, when I look at his career, and everyone has their own opinions on things, but I'm not saying for me personally, because I think he has at least 3, if not 4 perfect movies. And I think the argument can be made, as I'm looking at my list, he could be a guy depending on who you're talking to, has 7 perfect movies in his repertoire of movies, which is outstanding. And there's
Kind of
almost
unheard
no
of,
one.
yeah.
I mean, I love Spielberg, and he has a ton of movies, but
Yep.
I don't know that he or even Ron Howard has the breadth of different genres, and just like you look at these movies, and to me, a perfect movie is you could jump in at any time and you have to finish it. Every performance is spot on. The writing is amazing. There's not a single second that drags or seems out of place, and not an easy thing to do. But he has, I think, 7 potential perfect movies. Like I said, for me, there's 3 of them.
And when
It's
I can
just
guess what
amazing.
one of yours is, and I will say this: that a movie we haven't even mentioned, juxtapose that with any of his other films, and it's it's like which I think one of the things you're probably thinking of is A Few Good Men, right?
That's one of them, but not
I'm
even
saying,
my
but
main
juxtapose
one.
that with The Princess Bride, or when
Yeah.
Harry Met Sally, or when one of these other films where it's just like it's this. Like I said, I think it's a better word to describe him other than as a craftsman. He was a perfect executor of his trade. And
I just read an article. He's
Very
he was-
consistent across genres too. Like
he's like, I'm good at like a ton of things, and that's and that's what a craftsman's a great word for it. You don't have to be the best at every single thing, or he was really good at a bunch of different. A good actor, a good writer, a good director. He knew where to put the camera, and it was always about the work. And everyone who worked for him said it was it was never the set was always fun, and it was always about getting it done. But you look at some of the work. I don't think there's anyone who can. To me, When Harry Met Sally could be the quintessential romantic comedy.
yes,
Forever. I mean, maybe you have Philadelphia Story in there, and then this, and I don't think there's anything else that comes close to it. That to me is a perfect movie.
yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, but
So,
yes.
Dave, you said 3. What would your 3 be?
If I had to pick 3 of him that I think are perfect movies, is Princess Bride, Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men. Despite the Tom Cruise element, there's not a second in that movie that's not great.
It's not. It's absolutely true. Yeah.
I mean, I know it's an adaptation of a book, but Misery is a freaking great movie too.
Not every Stephen King book has been done
2 of the
well.
best Stephen King books. Okay.
Yeah.
He adapted. He has 2 of the best Stephen King adaptations, and there are a lot of Stephen King adaptations that are not good.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
And some that are good, but these 2 are just taking that short story, The Body, and making this into it, and then again, Misery is just
Well, and as a teenager in the '80s when Spinal Tap came out, that whole thing literally blew my mind. Like just the idea of them making a mockumentary, like that was unheard of. Like and the fact that it was about rock music and that it was. And it still holds up. I mean, have
did
either of you seen
documentaries before that?
Spinal
But
Tap
this is the
2?
first one that went mainstream.
Yeah. Have either of you watched the second Spinal
I
Tap?
haven't. It's on my. I know it's on.
Yeah, I
HBO
actually watched
now.
it today. I had recorded it prior to the news onto my DVR, but I watched it today, and it was fun. I mean, I know it
I
didn't
gotta
get
watch
great
it, yeah.
reviews, but it's fun, and just seeing those characters again and seeing him again as Marty DeBurgi was just great.
Yeah, no, it's just
It was
I
bittersweet
don't-
watching it for sure, but it was great.
I'll even throw American President in there. I don't
will
know if
say,
it's perfect.
I think
but I
I'm
love
not
that
sure
movie.
that holds up as well today, but it's.
I think it
its
holds
time-
up even better compared
You
to the
think so?
scumbag we have in Office.
Well, but again, I think in its time it was a very good film. Again, Spinal Tap, like I said, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that too. That's the 7 for me. I mean, and you look at these movies. Even movies we love, I don't think have the hold your interest. Like there is not a bad moment in any at least of these 7 movies that we're talking about. I know he's got others, but of this bunch, and they're all sort of made within a period of time too. That
But he also,
you could
I mean,
jump in anytime.
He's been acting consistently too, doing a lot of bit parts in movies and in series, and he's just been consistently good even in his on-screen work.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's really it's a
tragedy.
the word tragedy doesn't even scratch the surface. I mean, if he had passed away at 78, way too young, but geez, to be taken like that, and his wife is just
Yep.
it's just awful, and just such a talent. I mean, just such a and like I said, definitely very politically active, environment, all kinds of stuff. And that's good. With someone of your caliber, you got to take a stand on stuff like this. So.
And that's the thing too. I think I respect the man even more for that, for taking a stance, the very public stance that he took on the issues that he has, because you have a big megaphone when you have that much attention on you. The other thing too is, we talk about, there's a lot of talk about like the Nepo babies and whatnot like this. This is a child of Hollywood, okay, who took what he had and made extraordinary things of it.
Extraordinary. I mean, you get one movie made because of your name, maybe two, and to make seven of some of the best movies ever made in our lifetime.
Exactly. Of his 30 films, there's at least 8 or 9 there that are just terrific rewatches. I actually like Ghost of Mississippi. I think that's a very good, very powerful film. There's a number.
And again, very different from
that compared to freaking Spinal Tap. Jeez.
But you look at, even from like, I think for its genre, The Sure Thing is a very good film. But if you look at from This Is Spinal Tap, through Ghosts of Mississippi, that is an incredible run of films right in there. Absolutely amazing. And again, Misery, based on a great story, but that was casting. That movie was casting those two people to do that film.
Kathy Bates is crazy in that movie.
That's the thing. You look at
made Kathy Bates.
The performances he gets out of these people. That's not. I mean, hey, you can't take anything away from her or any of these people, but the director certainly has to get a performance out of them to put it on film, and that's across all these things. You see that
again in his life ended in tragedy, but he's left an extraordinary legacy, and I hope that is what he is ultimately remembered for, because this is like I said, it's few people leave a body of work behind them the way he did, and and these are films that people are going to find and appreciate for generations to come. You mentioned like the Philadelphia Story. This is a timeless film like that.
Absolutely. And we've talked about this movie, but I know Daryl, I think, watches it every New Year's Eve or something. Yeah. I just watched When Harry Met Sally. There's not a second that it's on that I won't stop and watch the whole thing. It's really all the Princess Bride. I won't watch Stand By Me because I find it sad.
Oh, it is sad, but it's also sad for a number of reasons. But
but talk about casting on that too.
No, I think it's amazing, but it's almost too emotional. Not every day when you're in the middle of eating a sandwich, you're like, oh, I need to really be emotional right now. I can't handle that.
Yeah. But of the ones that it's like, This Is Spinal Tap is just going to be a rewatch over and over again. It's just great stuff here, and even think about it, I haven't watched A Few Good Men for a long time, but that is a film that I think you said, like I said, there's not a scene you can trim out of that film, and
no,
and it works, and I think he's very good at getting everything out of his actors, and that's why these films endure the way they do.
You're Kevin Pollak. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Rich Eisen show. It's this. I always watch it on YouTube. He's like it's sort of a sports show, but he always has celebrities. Kevin Pollak's been on a lot. The stories Kevin Pollak tells about A Few Good Men, whether with Jack or is so entertaining. He would do Jack. he he would do the Jack part when Jack was not on set and they needed to like do the reverses. He would do it. And it's just really funny stuff.
Yeah.
But
I just hope that history remembers his body of work more than the way his life.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Barry. Is that
I hope so. Yeah,
we
that's a
remember
good,
the
really
legacy,
good point.
That his legacy is the body of his work and not.
Yeah, I don't think how it can't be. I think it's just more. I mean, no one obviously wants something like this. This almost highlights it more. It's we have probably had this conversation about some of these movies a couple times in the past 13 years. I mean, unfortunately, we're having it. I know we talked about Rob Reiner not that long ago. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to talk about him in this circumstance.
Yeah, well,
but.
and when we get around to our year in review, it was funny. I re-listened to our last year's year in review just to refresh myself. And Spinal Tap 2 was Brian's most anticipated thing of 2025.
Oh,
so,
really?
yeah, that might have been around the time we talked about Rob Reiner's movies. But
yeah, really just an amazing career.
Real tragedy.
Real tragedy. Totally. Yeah. Well, we are winding up the year as we're going to do a year in review probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably take a week off around the holidays. We will have the much anticipated Regular Joe's gift exchange coming up. I think we're going to try to put it on video if everyone's okay with that. It's going to be a 4-camera shoot. No. I only said that to get that look at it, Todd. But I'm excited to see that on camera because
I'm excited to see you guys in person. So that'll
always,
be the fun
as
part.
always.
Is there anything going on Dave's workshop you want to talk about before we end the show?
Yes, I will. It was going to be a what's in the box, but I'll do it, and I'm gonna. So let me send you guys a picture. I'm working on a couple things, but there's been a lot of workshop upgrades over the past couple of months or so. And I'm looking for this freaking picture. Where is it? One of the biggest ones is I just got a new laser cutter, a massive X-Tool P3, which has a 36 by 18 bed, which is huge.
Are you retiring
and I've set that up.
The Glowforge?
Excuse me?
Are you retiring the Glowforge? Or is
I don't know. I think I may use. I just sent the picture in the chat to you guys, and you'll see it here. I have the idea that I'll probably use it for plaques and stuff, but one of the very first projects that was done on the new X-Tool is your Ramon's
cool
thing. I did a couple of things. It's a learning curve because it's completely different software, but this thing is a monster. It not only is it gigantic, I literally had to reconfigure the workshop to fit it in. But it's super powerful. Like the Glowforge is 40-watt laser. This is 80-watt laser with a 36, I said, by 18 bed. I had, just for reference, I have the original Glowforge, not just like the first one. I joined the Kickstarter. I have one of the very first ones ever offered, and mine is still going strong. Not a lot of people's are, but I needed to upgrade it, and I'm like, if I'm going to upgrade and spend the money, I might as well get something
I bet this is much faster, too,
Oh,
right?
my God. It's so fast, Like the middle of your thing that I cut out, it would have been 45 minutes on the Glowforge. It was like, I think it was 20 minutes on this thing.
Wow.
So anyway,
Great.
so yeah, if you need a display or plaque or anything, check us out from davesworkshop.com. We have, I could do bigger stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. If you need a plaque that's 36 by 18, let me know. We could do that. Please, I hope no one needs that. But yeah, we'll be doing a lot of different stuff. So, and then I'm working on a couple other clients. Got some other stuff. I'll show pictures when I can. But yeah, we're moving along. We're expanding and having fun still.
Good.
So there you go.
That's great.
So you can also email me at fromdavesworkshop@gmail.com. And that's it. Well, that is. We'll probably get in another one before the holidays. We'll see. You know, it's the end of the year. Everyone's super busy, but you can't thank you guys enough for listening and watching now the past 5 or 6. And please check out episode 600. It's a lot of fun. We dig deep with Titus, and he's been awesome to us. And check out our Instagram. He's been reposting our stuff, so there's lots of views and likes and all kinds of good stuff. So,
and and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and write us a review on iTunes. And you know, if you like the show, help us out by clicking a couple buttons on your favorite.
Yeah, subscribe. We're really
like and subscribe.
Need to beef up our YouTube, and we're getting a lot more watches, but please subscribe. I know it's not always the easiest thing to do, especially if you're not watching on your computer. You know, if you're on the television, it's not easy to subscribe, but please do so. And thanks for listening and watching.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.